Hello and welcome to JRock's Babylon. I'm your host, Jason JRock Houston, and we got two members of the band, uh, Slave I Remain. Now, I got to tell you guys, when I first heard the name of the band, it really impressed me. I mean, it really stood out. Not only did it really sound kind of mellow, but I thought, man, that's the cool. Now, I'm kind of thinking, is it like Slave to the System, or how did you come up with that?
Well, you're not far off, but basically the idea in my mind was not only a slave to the system, but a slave to everything. We're a slave to the system. We're a slave to love. We're a slave to money. We're a slave to our addictions. Anything that you can be a slave to.
Okay, now why don't you guys introduce yourself? We got Ryan, and who's with you, Ryan?
This is my guitarist, Dustin.
Hello, everybody.
Hello. And how about you, Ryan? What instrument do you play?
I play drums.
Okay, you played. Okay, now let me ask you guys, how long has the band been around?
Good question. I mean, I think technically this band has been around for 3 years now.
Yeah, maybe even four.
Yeah, maybe getting closer to 4. But him and I have been playing
Since I'm 14.
yeah.
And so how did you guys originally hook up? Did you meet like in school?
Oh, we're gonna tell that story?
So
Go ahead.
so I'm actually 21. He's
35.
yeah. And
Okay.
my mom used to be or still is a bartender at a place she was working at.
I happened to be there that night.
Happened to be there doing flooring.
Yeah.
And my mom got to talking with him. I had never played with anybody before, and I never had a big brother. He never had a little brother. We got to playing music through my mom, and it was just immediate,
Yeah.
like
Almost
little brother,
8 years
older
later.
brother chemistry. And then, now almost 8 years later, I mean,
Kind of like the annoying kid next door that always follows you around, and looks up to you, right?
No, it was great. Yeah, it turned out such a good, couldn't have asked for more.
And so, did you guys have chemistry right away? And what I mean by that is like, were you guys musicians, or did you learn to play music? Coming up together.
Shit, no, he was already really good, and I'd already been playing for so long that it just was a different thing. We came in and just almost immediately started gelling and being able to work on things and do what we were trying to start all those years ago.
And anybody that checks out the video for nothing else, one thing right away too about the band is it's you got a female singer. Is that something that you guys always kind of, hey, it would be cool to have a female singer, or it was just a case of that was the best singer?
it was kind of a case of best singer. We started with somebody who was looking to be on vocals, and it was a dude, and he fell through. We wound up talking to some other people, and we came across Martina one day, and it was one of those, the more and more we heard her voice, and we just kept thinking with our music like how well she would fit, and it's like we gotta try her out. And she immediately gelled with us too.
Yeah, absolutely.
Just as a person, as a musician. And we've all been able to really like help each other grow and learn from each other.
How long have we been working with her now? 2 years?
We've probably been working with
2 years
Martina
now?
now for maybe a year and a half. Year and a half, yeah, year and a half, 2 years.
So since the official lineup's been together, is she the only singer you guys had, or did you have a previous singer?
We did back in the day, but we didn't release anything under this name. It was a different project, but basically the same guys.
Okay, interesting. And so, have you found in having, I know this may sound silly thing to ask, but in having a female singer, have you had to write any differently, or is it just like, hey?
Absolutely.
Totally. As we're working on album 2, we're really focusing her vocals as like the centerpiece of the song. Even if it's, say, a simple electronic part, we're making the vocal production and using her voice as, think almost like, I don't know if you listen to any Billie Eilish or her brother, yes, they very much focus on vocal production. So as big as her songs are, it's still, 80% vocal production, and kind of taking little bits of that, but now throwing drop tune guitars and
and breakdowns.
And I dig that you guys are a metal band, and you listen to other stuff like that, because again, I think more people, if they would open their minds and open their ears to
totally
exposing themselves to other stuff,
I call ourselves musicians more than anything. I call myself a musician, not a drummer. He calls himself a musician,
not a guitar player.
And so we all listen to everything, just good music.
So let me ask you, Ryan. You're a guitar player, obviously. What was the point in life when you knew the guitar was your instrument? Or
I'll just answer anyway. I mean, it's just one of those things. I don't know. That's a weird question because asking me, I actually started as a drummer.
oh, interesting. Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I started playing drums when I was young, and then moved to guitar, went back to drums, moved to guitar, and then finally, maybe at 20, is when I really quit playing the drums so much and just took guitar full force.
The cool thing about that too is it makes you a more rounded musician as far as when you're in the studio working the band, you have a better understanding what the other guys do. Like in your case, if you're a previous drummer or whatever. I mean, a lot of great musicians, in their own right, like Janie Lane from Warrant. He was a drummer for Steven Tyler from Aerosmith.
That's
Um,
right.
a lot of these guys started out doing other things and they moved up as a frontman or whatever. So that's pretty great that you kind of got. How about you, Dustin? Would you say the drums you just kind of knew right away that was your instrument? Because like you're saying to yourself, I don't really think myself as a drummer. I think myself more as a musician.
Yeah. I apparently even in my mom's stomach, I was beating the crap out of her inside of there too. So it's only natural for me to follow through later on in life. But it started off as pots and pans, and by third grade I got my first drum kit, and it never stopped from there, and it was just every day. And I kind of knew, I don't know, I tried going down other paths in life, in terms of career. I For the longest time I wanted to be actually a cosmological physicist. I
Wow.
did programs at UC Berkeley in high school. I was really working towards that, but there was always this uneasy sense of like, I have my family telling me this is what you got to do, this is what you got to do, and I'm over here thinking,
Wanted music.
that's not me. Like, I play drums every day. That's me. I envision
Yeah.
myself up on a stage, no matter how hard I tried to, put it away. And so, even though I was focusing on school, there came a point where I just had to accept this is just me. And that was probably around 13, 14 when I finally said,
Yeah, it's kind of funny. It reminds me of like Brian May from Queen. He
mm,
went to school, became an astrophysicist, and yet his band Queen kind of got in the way of him doing that. He did
Yeah,
that on the side, whatever. Yeah,
but when that's what
um,
you do on the side, that's not a bad gig.
no, not at all.
yeah. Kept the band going for over like 40 years now, whatever it is. That's pretty good. So, have you guys played out live much?
No, actually, we just played our first show last Saturday. That was our
What
debut.
was that like? That had to be pretty exciting.
No, I purposely tried to pick a smaller place just so that we could kind of use it as a warm up. Even though we've all played live before, it was never under this band name. So I just wanted to make sure everything worked great. I wanted everything. It was a good show. It was a lot of fun. It was fun to get out there. So we're definitely booking more here over the next couple months.
And so, how long has this version of the band been together? The reason I ask is like I went on your YouTube page and I wish it was because you haven't been around fairly that long, but what really impressed me, what was up there is even the video for the new single, Nothing Else, very impressive to me. Not just the song, but the video itself. It looks like something you would have seen on MTV back in the day. I can see that you guys take what you do very serious.
Absolutely. We did try hard for that. We knew that was going to be our debut video. So I guess if you use when we did our first release, the band's only been around like a year.
True.
So yeah, technically, I think we've only been around for a year from the time we put first release, and so we wanted to come out swinging. We
And swinging you did. The other song I saw that was up was Secrets. And the other thing that really impressed me about the band, especially a band that's not been around that long, is not only do the music videos like top quality, but also the songs. When you're hearing a band for the first time, that's kind of what I'm experienced with you guys. Because I wasn't really aware of the band, as I told you, until your publicist sent me a press release. So I like to be prepared. I go do my homework on the band, and I'm trying to, like you typically would. Who do these guys sound like? And I can honestly say, you guys got like a real fresh, original sound. You definitely sound metal, but I can't sit here and say, oh, they're trying to be the next Megadeth or whatever. You got your own unique style. Is that something you set out to do, or just kind of a way the music came out?
100%.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we
that
we
was
we kind of decided as like a collective. Here's the music we like to make. This is us, and you either like us and you don't, or you don't.
But I will say, bringing the girl in we were already trying to do that, and then bringing her in, just what she added to the mix, it did it on its own. We were already trying to have a unique sound, and then bringing her in was just like, well, you can hear a lot of influences, but you can't say we sound like this one band. You can't put a finger on it.
Yeah, and the great thing about it too is, I mean, the thing about having a female singer, I mean, definitely, she looks good, and so she sounds good. She's, and so people are going to be, when you guys are performing, like they always typically do, if it's a male or a female, check out the lead singer. All eyes are always on the lead singer.
Absolutely.
And it gives it a different dynamic because, one female surrounded by all these guys, but it's a pretty cool dynamic. And again, it's not just simply because, she got the gig just because she looks good. She's got the talent to go with it,
Yeah.
Yeah. And so
Martina, especially as like a singer, is for not having, I don't think, any formal training.
I don't think so.
That girl can just belt. And it's pretty amazing to see kind of how we've helped her evolve as a musician and how she's helped us evolve as musicians as well.
Good answer.
Much more so in reverse. The fact that we now had a powerful female voice nonetheless, but a voice like that still can still be ethereal. It can still be light. It can still be so many different dynamics. And so we kind of had to make sure we were falling in line with her dynamics from that point forward.
And her voice is pretty, for a metal band. I mean, it's she can reach almost like, I would say, Halford-like notes,
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And you guys want to tell us the story of how you found her? Like you said, she didn't have a lot of performing experience. So was she somebody on the music scene or that you knew?
Nothing like that. If my memory serves, we found her on Bandmix. We just found her online. We had put up an ad saying we were looking for a singer, and her profile popped up. I don't know who sent a message first, and she came down and tried out. And by the second or third rehearsal, it was like, all right, well.
And it's funny because Bandmix was kind of like our last ditch effort as well. We'd been asking around. We had tried out multiple different people. Nobody was the right fit, or just didn't gel, or in some way, shape, or form. And it was like, where do we go next? Okay, there's this site called Bandmix. Never even heard of it. Let's put something up. And we even searched that for a while, and we gave up a few times. And one day she popped up, and it was like,
okay, let's see what happens.
And so do you guys all live near each other?
It's all of us live in San Diego, but she lives in Los Angeles.
Oh, okay, not too terribly far away, but within the same state at least.
Exactly.
Yeah, and so well, that first show, like you said, okay, it was a little tiny place, but to finally get up there and perform these songs, what was that like for you guys? I mean, were these people that they just happened to kind of come to the concert that night? Had you advertised much?
Because it was our first one and we tried to keep it small on purpose, the other bands were there in different things, but a lot of it for us, it was friends and family who had see this for a while and hadn't really gotten to hear us or see what we were doing. So it was almost like a family get together where everybody
kind of like a family get together.
It was nice.
And just inviting like a couple people we knew from the industry as well, and just keeping it small on our end.
Sure.
The sole sake of like it
was like giving them a private show.
Show. Kind of like a showcase, and let me ask you guys on that note, it's one thing to get in a room and you jam together and as you're crafting the songs and everything and recording them, but even, first little intimate show like that, you feel like you worked out all the kinks, you're like, oh, we finally get a chance to hear these songs live,
Absolutely.
And it was more so than anything for the feedback from those around us who would give us actual honest feedback, so that way we can take that, and then because we've all played to thousands of people in a night, we're used to that, and so it's one of those, but you still, to get to that point, you have to craft a great show, and to keep 1,000 people intrigued, you have to have a great show. Other people are going to walk out to the bar or go to the bathroom. Nobody's actually going to, and kind of using that as our baseline for where to start from, where to build from, so that way we can really start booking some really nice shows and come in swinging.
So Ryan, are you the only guitar player in the band, or is it a two guitar?
Oh yes, no. Our other guitar player is Maurice.
Oh,
Yes.
Maurice. Okay. By the way, I want to apologize to Maurice. We're having some technical difficulties, but if you guys could let him know, we will definitely have you guys come back, and he's welcome to come back, of course.
Oh, absolutely. Unlike us, he's got kids and stuff. He's only got
we understand. So, on that note, Ryan, are you a kind of lead flashy player? How do you guys go about splitting up the guitar parts?
I was gonna say, yeah, I am the lead guitar player, but I mean, I don't know. Sometimes it's whoever comes up with what part first or where. But for the most part, yeah, I would say I do the majority of the solos.
Okay, and then you guys want to share with us, like in your case, Ryan, who are some of your guitar heroes growing up? That really kind of influenced you, and maybe then Dustin can talk about his drum heroes.
All right, so I mean, if we're going to talk about like influences growing up, it's all the greats, all the old ones: Jimmy Page, Randy Rhoads, Yngwie, of course, had to. But I mean, just all the guys. I grew up with all the '70s and '80s rock. My dad raised me right, so it's hard to choose any one.
Yeah, and Randy's an interesting case because there's no denying his talent. Died tragically young at like 24, but the amazing thing about his legacy is just really got those two Ozzy albums, and yet look at the fan base he has.
And it changed music forever.
Yeah. How about you, Dustin? Who are some of your favorite, I guess, drum gods?
I mean, I would say Danny Carey. If just as a metal drummer, Danny Carey. But metal wasn't the first genre I got into. I got into at least as a drummer. My mom raised me on metal, but I started off in jazz and Latin and funk, really. So, and then evolved into gospel. So a lot of my drum heroes are from that world. So drummers like Larno Lewis from Snarky Puppy, Chris Coleman, and then Buddy Rich.
I mean, if anybody doesn't know the name Buddy Rich, I urge you to go on YouTube and check out those kick-ass. He was more than a drummer. He was a monster performer. I mean, that's the guy that influenced Carmine Appice, just to kind of give you guys a taste.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally. And especially a lot of the newer guys like J. Sullivan, drummers like him are, just really keep ideas fresh in my brain. Clemens Poindexter.
See, now you're cheating. I only named off like the ones from when I was a kid, man.
Oh, he's showing that his various influences, and Dustin, that's not really totally surprising to hear because I've heard a lot of drummers that, oddly enough, are influenced by jazz guys. Even Bill Ward, the original drummer from Sabbath, he started out like doing kind of even in Sabbath, doing some jazz type fills in his playing.
That's awesome. It always reminds me like Danny Carey does actually play like jazz gigs on like the weekends up in LA, like at Little Smith, and so I still have to go see him play up there. But people
would be amazed. They'd get out of their little comfort zone. I mean, I heard a guy like I don't know if you guys know James Lomenzo, the bass player from Megadeth. From time to time, he would play like with other type of artists, and he'd play like for a couple of years. He was also playing with John Fogerty, and somebody was telling them like during an interview, "Hey, what's a metal guy like you playing with John Fogerty?" He says, "Hey, well, first of all, it's a good paying gig, and if you can get it, why not? I can do more than one thing, I'm
not going to turn down a good paying gig, that's for sure.
Yeah. That's pretty good. And so you guys had the one show. Do you think when do you think you'll have more live performances once the album drops?
Maybe once the album drops, but for right now, it's mainly building up just fan base and social media and real followers. Because why put out music if it's not going to go to anybody? Why?
Yeah. I really urge you guys to do that. I mean, this is. It turned out to be a pretty a great interview. And the thing that was kind of interesting to me last night when I was trying to research the band, of course, I went on your YouTube page and your Facebook page, and I was reading what was up there. But like, I even like type in, interviews, interviews with Slave I Remain, and didn't find a whole lot. So I think once people hear more about the band, they will be equally as impressed as I was. Because again, I mean, what's the feedback you've been getting, for example, on the music videos? Because again, I watch shows and they're pretty impressive.
That's good. I don't know how
the feedback I've gotten mainly is that it's just a solid video. But I think just as artists, we just want to make our videos even better.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was my answer because I've gotten good feedback. You know, nobody said it sucked, but for me now, since it's already been a while since I did it, I can look back on any art I've ever created and just go, "Ah, I could have done better."
What can I learn from this?
Yeah, exactly.
That's a great attitude to have, rather than kind of have a cocky attitude like, "Hey, everything we do is gold." In fact, when I was watching the video, I left a comment, and the comment I left was something. And this is kind of honestly my honest first reaction when I was watching the video. Um, metal music made to be heard by the metal masses.
Beautiful.
Yeah. In fact, that's the truth. I think you guys are kind of right now. That's the thing. You're kind of a great little secret. The more people are exposed to you guys, I think the bigger it's going to get.
Well, we're hoping. That's the goal here.
Especially like with this first album, I don't want to say spring cleaning with our songs, but some of these songs have been around for us for a while. And so when we got together as a band, it was one of these cases of let's use this as a way to get better. Let's use this as a way to, with each song, keep building more people. Don't want to come like our mentality with songs and building fan base really has come from the space of we don't want to drop our best stuff if there's nobody to drop it to yet.
Correct.
For sure. Like when I was growing up, I'm a lot older than you guys. They would make whole albums of stuff, and people go to what was called a record store back in the day, and you buy your music and stuff.
Right.
And a lot of these classic rock bands, they have these albums. People have them in their collection now, and you would go in and record an album, and all the songs that you want them to kind of sound like they belong in the same album. When you guys write songs, do you kind of write with that mentality, or is it more about, well, all the songs on the album don't necessarily have to sound the same as long as it's just a kick-ass song?
With album, I think with album one, it was maybe, and the songs that we're putting out, it was partially, okay, let's take these songs that we've all had, but we spent so long, we spent years reworking them and really making sure they did all gel together.
Yeah.
They didn't
originally. And we have an amazing producer that we've been able to work with that's been able to help make sure that our vision gets solidified into something consistent.
And it's good that you're willing to listen to an outside person, because a lot of times a producer can really help a new band find their sound, so to speak.
Oh yes, we consider him the fifth member of the band.
That's great. And so when you guys suspect the album might drop, probably in the new year?
Yeah, because we're still going to try to drop at least one or two more singles and videos before we put out the complete record. So it might not even be till summer next year, maybe.
Springtime.
Yeah. Like you said, you're slowly building the empire. But that's great. And Dustin, like you're talking about having a lot of songs,
in overnight and can't follow it up. So
that's right.
Yeah. Anyway, you were saying, Dustin, about having a lot of songs that have been kind of around for a while. I think that's a sign of that you guys are very good songwriters. I mean, Gene Simmons, I know of Kiss. I've heard him over years talk about that he's got this vault of like unreleased songs. Songs he'd written like from 20 years ago, but he always, when he goes in the studio, goes back and revisits them.
Yeah,
like, just didn't get used, but it's still a good song.
We still have them sitting around.
We do. That's very much a musician thing. Just I think in general, I think just because musicians always write out of spaces they're at in their head, and as people and life changes, that also changes, and so we just keep writing songs, and sometimes all you have is an idea, and so you get that idea down and you really work that idea, and you just, but even if it doesn't turn into a full song, at least with us, so long as we're writing music, I think we're all happy, because that's part of the goal anyways.
That's right.
You have to write a million songs before you write
one really good
song. And that's just the game of songwriting. And just even if it's using a little piece, writing a chorus or something, but using, how like artists might do like a study of like a hand or something, or an eye, kind of using it like that, like a study.
Yeah. Now let me ask you guys, equipment wise, like how important is like your equipment to the sound? What I mean, for example, Ryan, do you have certain guitars you play for certain songs? How important is that?
All right. Yeah. Oh, very, very important. Both me and my other guitar player, we both play Schecters and we both use Kemper profilers. Our sound is very important to us.
Okay, and in regards to the recording, what's the process like? Do you guys do it the old school way where you're all in the same room, or does everybody record their parts separately?
No, we do them the more modern way. We're using plugins and we're using big, recording studios. Nothing's done live like that, but we still all go to our producer and we still record our parts with him so that we have another person's ear to give us an opinion or maybe suggest a slight change on this little part instead of just recording them in our own studios and sending them to him.
And especially having somebody like him who's an amazing just audio engineer. That is his main thing in general is audio engineering. And he's just a fantastic producer as well. And so it's perfect for sure. Anybody can get, a Shure mic and record, a demo in their bedroom, but somebody who actually knows how to get the perfect sound out of a mic. And same thing goes with recording drums, vocals. Correct. That can gain stage everything perfectly along the way to make sure that just even going into the computer, it sounds great.
Yeah, it's kind of a double-edged sword. I mean, but back again, aging myself here, but back when I was growing up, you couldn't release an album unless you were signed to a record deal. Now it's not necessarily that way. You don't even have to have a record deal. Yeah. People printing up their own music, but there's a certain thing that's cool about that as well because, otherwise you might not get the opportunity to get your music out. So I kind of dig the modern way of doing it,
I love it. It made it so much easier for a lot of people. And, not everybody can afford
Sure.
Go do the fancy stuff, but they might still be really, really good. And it does happen.
It does. There's there was this producer and he was just a kid at the time. I think he was like a college kid in his dorm room. And on his MacBook Air, he wrote, I think it was like one of Drake's like biggest songs.
I remember we were just talking about this.
Just little things like that. Where it's,
like I'm not a musician myself. I just listen. I'm a music fan. That's why I have a huge respect for guys like you that can do what you guys do. But it's amazing, like, because I don't really have a musician's ear, obviously. I could listen to something, that sounds good to me, but I talk to a lot of musicians and they're like, no, we're really serious about how our stuff sounds. We're not going to put out a crappy sounding album. We want it to be top quality,
It has to be. And now with the way technology is, I will say it is easier to have a high quality sound. So if you're doing it, it's like, hey, what are you doing, man? Come on. It's not that hard anymore to get a really quality tone. So just do it.
Okay. Well, Ryan and Dustin, it was great chatting with you.
You as well.
And just great talking with you. So this interview, I'm going to post it up. It probably should be up in the next 30 minutes. I'll send you the link. Feel free to share it. You guys are welcome back anytime. Okay. Thanks for doing this.
Fantastic. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, man.
Have a good night.
Take care. Bye-bye.